Hi, I'm Trooper Smacka.
Hi, I'm Trooper Wellman,
Please stay tuned for a behind-the-scenes look at being a state trooper.
and together we can make a difference.
Here we are live with Trooper Smacka and Trooper Wellman on another edition of Trooper Talk. Well, let me tell you, the audience is growing. Every week, more and more people are listening. More and more people are sending in the email on troopertalk.com. The audience is growing. It takes a little bit of time, but, I think that we're starting to gain momentum and people are starting to talk. So I'm sure that we've maybe not saved a life completely, but I know people are talking about it, so we're on the road to saving lives.
Yes, I actually just found out yesterday that my mom and dad watch us now.
Oh, really? See, this is what I'm saying. It takes time. Something that we talked about right before we went on camera. It's very special. What we do here, people are really watching. And so it's really about what we're doing. And so we appreciate both of you taking time, to come here. I know that you guys are really busy.
Yeah, well, thanks for always having us. We appreciate your time.
Let's talk about, so yesterday it rained, right? So just out of the blue, sunny day, rain, and then not rain.
Yeah.
What happens when it rains?
So people need to slow down. This is what happens when it rains. It doesn't rain a lot here in Las Vegas. So when it does, our roads get very slick because all of the old oil or transmission fluid or any kind of liquids from vehicles that have been sitting on the roadways when it wasn't raining now come to the surface, and it makes the roadways very slick. So you may think you're traveling at a decent speed or a speed you can control your vehicle, but once you hit that slick substance, there's nothing you can do. You're going to hydroplane. So always just be extra careful in the rain. Slow down.
Slow down.
Slow down.
I remember what my question was. So this morning when I was driving to work, I go for my morning drive and stuff. There was a car that was trying to race me. Okay? And so I was traveling at my normal speed, and so he pulls on alongside of me and, revs his engine and does all this, right? And so I'm not interested. I'm just in my normal drive. I just, it's just my peaceful time to just relax in the morning. And so I pulled to the right lane. He pulled to the next lane over. Okay? So, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm not scared. But, with all these recent things that we're going to get into about, the road rage, right? I'm like, just leave me alone. Yeah. Now, I had the windows up so he couldn't see me. But here's the thing. Then I went over to the next lane and really slowed down. And now the cars behind me are starting to slow down. And so I don't want to be the cause of an accident. But I'm just trying to get away from this person. So he comes over again and he revs his engine even louder. And I'm like, leave me alone, dude, right? Finally, he got the hint that I want no part of what he was doing. And so he speeds off. Do I call Star NHP? Like this guy's gone, right? And so by the time I even get on the phone to make a phone call, it's a very scary situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so it's sort of my synopsis of venting for a moment, but also asking, you're in a situation, you're trying to get away. Trying to pick up. It's very scary. This road rage, and we're going to get into it, is a very scary situation.
Yes. And you may not have even been fully involved with somebody road raging. It sounds like somebody who's just trying to challenge you or show off or do whatever. But it made you very uncomfortable, and it made you worry for your safety.
Yeah.
If you're worried for your safety and you feel uncomfortable, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you calling Star NHP and getting a trooper out there to sort things out.
Yeah, it was just very exhilarating for, you're just trying to drive down the road. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so, anyway, that's what
we handle those calls all the time. They'll come out to us as somebody driving reckless, and what that behavior is reckless.
And so in that situation, so someone's driving reckless, right? Do I remember the license plate number? Do you know? I mean, like,
So there's a couple different options. We always encourage everyone just to call Star NHP or 911 so we can be on our way over there. While you're on the phone with our dispatch, you can go ahead and give them those license plates numbers, or you can also describe the vehicle, the direction you're going, where your location, all that stuff. Our dispatcher will write it down, so it's one less thing you have to worry about. I know a lot of people, their reflex is to get out their phone and record, which, yes, that's great for us to look at so we can see actually firsthand what you were experiencing, but ultimately that's going to affect your driving. And there's an exemption with the cell phone law that you can call 911. As far as recording, that you need to pick your how do I say it, like, it's going to put you in danger. So
right.
it's going to put you and everybody else in danger.
You
so
don't want to cause a crash trying to film.
Yeah, okay.
It's not worth it. So just call 911 or Star NHP and let us get there so that we can help you deal with that person, because you don't know if that individual is on something, under the influence. You don't know if they have a weapon. You don't know what their intentions are. You don't know this person, so you have no idea if they're just trying to race you or what is going on, right? So best thing, like, you did exactly what you should do. Get away from the vehicle, and then if you do fear for your safety, just call us, and we'll be more than happy to get out there for you.
Another good investment too, Neil, would be it never hurts
dash
to
cam.
invest into a dash cam. And that dash cam will get all that information for you without you even having to work
I
Yeah.
on it.
never even thought of that. Okay,
Yep.
you could probably, those are the things you buy like online.
Yes.
I never even thought
We
of
have
that.
people send us their dash cam footage all the time.
All the time.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing. And after reading, which we're going to get into on the pictures today, that latest road rage incident, with the shooting, it really even more like, because we always talk about the road rage, and stuff like that, but like, there are individuals with firearms
Yeah.
that,
Have zero respect for human life.
have
Right.
zero respect. And of the firearm, of maybe what it's supposed to do. So
Yeah.
we want everyone to slow down. Now it's going to get time, so it's almost time for not the Thanksgiving and stuff, but people are getting ready for the Halloween, and I know a lot of people are really under stress, probably driving to get gifts and stuff like that, and so we just want everyone to be safe.
Yes.
So, all right, let's get to some pictures. We had a week here in Las Vegas. On Tuesday, after we filmed, and we had it live on Channel 13, right? On Thursday, you were both not here.
No.
And so I know that this may get a little bit emotional. And so what I can say to you is that we all honor and respect what transpired. So I'm just going to show you some pictures, and we have a nice video, and give us your thoughts. I mean, you're on a plane ride, right? Like we talked,
Yes.
about the thing when I said, what did you do the morning of, right? So now you're on a plane ride, and all you can do is self-reflect. So
Yes, it was a very busy week for us, a very emotional week for both of us. But I have to say, not just Trooper Wellman and myself, but all the other Honor Guard members we traveled with, I think after this week, it was such a powerful week for all of us that I think we're all much closer as human beings now. I think it's elevated all our friendships, experiencing something so powerful together. And it started off a little rough. Trooper Wellman and I actually had to catch our plane and be at the airport at 3:30 in the morning, and we had a fatal crash come out at 10 p.m. So we were operating on fumes. We didn't
Yeah.
get much sleep, and that kind of theme continued through the whole week. It is such a busy week with all these important ceremonies and events for us to attend that I don't think either one of us got much sleep, and then immediately upon landing we're right back at work and doing what we love. But we're probably looking forward to a little rest time here just to kind of unwind and process this amazing week we had.
Yeah.
yeah.
I haven't even got to sit down and like look at my photos. Like,
Yeah.
I know I posted this photo, but I just even looking at it right now, it's just breathtaking
Yeah.
because we've been just on autopilot. So, yeah, it's a really
Now,
amazing
when
photo.
we spoke last week, we didn't have a chance to talk to you, and I'd like to know your thoughts on this. I asked Trooper Smack, I said, listen, when you're driving and you're alone in your car, with taking Sergeant Ben Jenkins, back and forth and all this, and you have total time for reflection, what are you thinking about? And because part of Trooper Talk is the fact that we want to know you. We want to know what makes you want to be a trooper and do all this. So in your self-reflection, you had some time, you're on an airplane and you're doing this type of stuff. Take us through your mindset of just some of this self-reflection as we go to this picture here.
You always try and make me cry, aren't you, Neil?
Yeah. It's very important.
So, honestly, with this job, it's very rewarding, and you get to see the joy you bring to people, as well as when you help somebody. It's very rewarding, but you also see a lot of bad, and it starts to wear on you, especially me. I'm very in tune with my emotions, so it gets very draining on me at times. But then you get moments like this, where this family literally lost a husband, father, a friend, and just being able to be there and hug them because he can't now, and just offer them support and kind words and let them know that, like, they're not alone. It helps, like, putting all my energy into making sure they're okay really helps me, because otherwise, if I sit there and I dwell on it, it's just going to tear me apart. And then seeing that he paid the ultimate sacrifice just for helping somebody, and seeing how we actually are taking care of his family and we're able to be there for them as best as we can ultimately, it gives me comfort in knowing that if I was ever to pay the ultimate sacrifice, that my family would be taken care of, because my Blue family, the whole city of Las Vegas, everybody that I've ever had an impact on would be there to help comfort my family. And so just, it makes it worth it, I know that if I did go out, or if I did pay the ultimate sacrifice, my family would be taken care of, so that's why I just try to do that for his family, if that makes sense.
No, it does.
Yeah.
It's facing your own immortality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But and I think the important thing would be the fact that, like, if that was to happen, which we hope that never happens.
Yeah.
That the comfort and support that we as a complete community, and also from all over the world, when what happened with Trooper May, and also Sergeant Jenkins. You know what I mean? Yes. The outpouring of support, right?
Example of what Ashley's talking about too is you just see it in this picture. This picture, you have officers from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, the North Las Vegas Police Department,
Henderson.
the Nevada Department of Public Safety High Patrol, and Henderson Police Department, and they're all surrounding a state trooper's family. Yet these are three different agencies in Las Vegas, and this is a trooper that died in Elko.
Yeah.
And we also had troopers from also the Elko area and the Reno area. But what I'm saying is they all surrounded this family with support and love. A lot of these officers in this picture had never met this family. They had never met Sergeant Ben Jenkins. Yet they treated him as if it was a member of their own family. And you found that throughout the week when you're up there, I would meet officers from police departments in New York. And immediately they would talk to me like I'm a long-lost friend and embrace me and welcome me. And you leave feeling you're really a part of something much bigger than yourself. And not only does it bring you into context or face-to-face with your own mortality, but it also builds your resolve that she's not going to pay the ultimate sacrifice, because I will take a bullet to ensure she goes home to her family. And I know everybody there feels that way about the person next to them.
And I think, like, Trooper Smack and I always have this conversation, but, like, we don't even think twice about sacrificing ourselves to save somebody we don't even know, right? We took this oath, but it's more than just the oath. It's in us. I don't know, it's just in us. And when you have that passion to be a police officer, you don't think twice when it comes to helping somebody, even if that means losing your life. But what is hard to grasp and what keeps you up at night is knowing, is your family, they're going to be hurting if you were gone. It's not about us, it's about our family, right? It's our loved ones, it's the people we've made impacts on. And so that's why we always have to make sure we're there for them, the families, the survivors of the fallen, because somebody has to. That's our family too, whether we knew them or not. And so it's it was just so powerful. I don't know another word except it was powerful. It was like we were almost like embracing them. In this photo, it's like we're all giving them a big hug, even though we're not. It's just.
And
you
we,
just
and
have
we
to
saw that
be
at
there.
the IPOF car show. We talked about that too. You know, the way that Trooper May's wife was there with the little kids.
Yeah.
And how you stepped right up. I mean, you were there the whole time with them, you know, and so you can see that because this is the proof every time.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we offer our deepest condolences. You know, we try to do everything we can for that. And I think it's wonderful. I think it's a matter of, you know, giving the honor and respect, and I think you always show it, and every chance that you get the opportunity, it's even more and more. So
I always tell Trooper Smacka that in tragedy, in a twisted way, there's beauty, and in this tragedy, this is like the beauty. It's like us being there with the family and stuff, and just like at the car show, Micah's kids. I'm putting his kids on his car, you know, and taking pictures of them, and they have no idea what's happening to an extent, but they're just running their fingers down the car, and it's like one day when they're older, they're maybe be able to appreciate that and be like, wow, like my dad was loved, you know, and his memory will always live on. And his son just kept saying at the car show, I want to go see daddy's car. I want to go see daddy's car. And it's like, it hits us hard, right? It's like it's like a knife in the heart. But for him, it's still like, it's just daddy's car. And so we got to keep him alive, you know, through the memories and stuff for them.
what do we see on this right-hand side here?
You can talk about it.
That is one of our troopers, Goolsby, who was in Elko and was a dear friend of Sergeant Jenkins. And he's taken it upon himself to be there for the Jenkins family. He's been with them ever since Ben lost his life. And he was their escort all through the week and tended to their every need. And he really stepped up to the plate big time, because it had to have taken an emotional toll on him that week. But he did an outstanding job of being there for that family and escorting them to everything.
And like that was his, like, not that you're, but like that was his friend, right?
It's his friend.
Right? And
Yeah.
so, like, you know, he had a personal connection with his wife. and-
Yes, they all knew each other
you know what I
for a
mean?
long
And
time.
We've talked about being in a smaller department or town, right? Different from the,
Yeah.
well.
And then our resident star, you always have Ashley somewhere in every picture.
We got to find something to laugh at, you know what I mean?
This guy.
How about this one?
Look, you're right there too.
Yeah,
Okay. Oh man.
Yeah, that was a somber
All right,
moment.
so
You could
here's where I want to go with this one. Okay? What does the honor guard mean to you?
It's representing our fallen, remembering our fallen that paid the ultimate sacrifice. Even when, I mean, it could be 50 years from now, and it's my duty, it's our duty as the honor guard to remember them and to keep their story alive. 'Cause it's what it's about. You know, I just, there's no greater honor than to be honored by your department if you paid the ultimate sacrifice for your family, but you as well. Like,
Do you get emotional? Like, because I know you like when you're doing this and you're like straight faced, right? Because you have to be strong.
yeah.
you can still see it in her eyes.
Is it? Do you like break down and then you're just like, okay, I got to be strong though. Like it's difficult, right?
It's really difficult because I don't ever want to lose my emotion. I don't want to lose my empathy as a person. And sometimes you have to turn it off to an extent to just do this job and to be in these moments. But I feel like with Honor Guard, it's okay to have those moments. That's what it's about. There's been many, many times that I'm in a salute and I'm just bawling. And even at Micah's funeral, I'm literally folding the flag on his casket and I'm bawling. And I think that's what makes me human. So I don't ever want to lose that. But there are times that I can go in, if you want to say like a military mode, and I have a duty to do and I can do it, you know, because I want to be strong for the family. But at the same time, I think it's important to still have my emotion and let the family know I'm hurting with them. To you get comfort from each other, you know, when you're both hurting. So yes, this was a big moment just when you saw all the candles in the sky. This was my first time ever going to the Police Memorial Week, and it was breathtaking. And we honored 701 fallen officers this year, so it was a lot.
What about you? Tell us, Trooper Smacko. I mean, you've done this, right?
Yes. When a officer loses their life in the line of duty, it's important that the family knows that their service mattered, their sacrifice mattered, and they mattered.
Yeah.
And that's our job, is to make sure that they're never forgotten and to make sure their family knows how important they are, not just to us, not just to their community, but to this country.
And so I got a video. Tell us, what is going on in the video.
So there was over 40 of those large tour buses, and these are survivors of our fallen officers and their families, their loved ones, and these buses escorted them all here. And it's not only just from these past 2 years, but even previous years, the survivors can come and take part in the vigil. And then we, as agencies, all took turns to stand guard as they escorted them down the roadway, and we would salute them as they passed. And it was just, I keep saying the same word, but it's just truly an honor to just be there for them so they know they're not alone.
We always talk about the fact that, somebody's not coming home to dinner because of wrong way driving, or you know what I mean, or something like this. But they went to ate breakfast or something in the morning. They ate dinner the night before, and so
because of the pandemic, they had to cancel the Police Memorial Week in 2020.
Yeah.
And so this year they had to honor the officers that lost their lives in 2019 and 2020. 700 people that will never come home. That they kissed their family goodbye, went to work, and that was the last time their family saw them.
it's the most horrific.
We all have our own triggers, or like if you want to say like kryptonite, right?
Yeah.
So Travis has his own. I have my own. I'm sorry, Trooper Smacka, and I have my own. And mine are the children, and because I have a 3-year-old daughter. So like we're standing here, and I see the families coming down, and you see all these little kids, and they have their T-shirts on, and my daddy's a hero, my mommy's a hero. It just like hits home, and it's like a reality check. Like that could be my family, and you just feel for them. It's just so heartbreaking.
Yeah. Well, let's go to something that we can not get so emotional about,
Yeah.
but know that we appreciate what you did for your brother. And so it's really a wonderful thing, and we're happy that we're able to share that with you. Okay? Not everything is NHP. Some things I just wanted to bring up just for a moment.
Yes.
Governor Sisolak was in an accident this week.
Yes.
Okay? So the important thing, doesn't matter if you're the governor of the state, you can still get in a car accident.
Yes.
The important thing in this is
Tell me.
that I'm told he's not injured.
Yes.
Not injured, back at work today, I heard.
Yes, yeah. That he said he got some bumps and bruises and stuff, but thankfully he wasn't hurt.
He has come into Nevada Coin Mart twice.
Oh.
And because he collects the challenge coins, and so he puts them behind his desk at the governor's office or whatever. Super nice guy. You know what I mean? Nice, polite. You know what I mean? Before the pandemic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we obviously wish him well. But I wanted to bring it up, the fact that it doesn't matter who you are. You know
No.
what I mean? You just got to be safe on the
Yes.
roadways
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
We're all driving. We all have to be careful.
Happen
Yep.
to any of us.
All right. So I know that this is an active investigation.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not asking for any pertinent information. The only thing that I want to bring up is this. In addition to what we talked about earlier, okay, that in the state of Nevada, people, doesn't matter who you are, what religion, what race, it doesn't matter, people have firearms that they are legally allowed to carry.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So they can legally carry a firearm, some people, in a car, maybe on their wrist, or on their hip, or wherever,
Yep.
right? And so at the end of the day, we know that we all have a breaking point. And so sometimes we get pushed to that breaking point. And so the important thing is that, just like we talked about earlier, that if you feel like something isn't right, just stop or
Yeah.
get away, like, you know what I mean, or whatever, right?
It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth your life, It's not, and just not even just this situation, but like situations in general. Like it's, what you're saying with the road rage. Like that guy challenging you to race, he could have had a firearm, and for no reason, he could have pulled it out and pointed it at you, shot you, anything. And it's for what? For what?
Yeah.
And it's happening. It is, the reality is it's happening, and it's not okay, and it shouldn't be happening. So we don't have control over other people's emotions and over their actions. So the best thing you can do is just take control of your own, exactly what you did, and get away from the situation, because there's people out there that are not in the right mindset, and they have these firearms. And so just try to get yourself out of that situation. And if you ever witness, going back to what he was saying, like if you ever, with the cameras in the car, if you're just a witness of road rage, please call us. Because maybe that person's so terrified, like you said, you couldn't even think at that moment because there's so many emotions going on, you didn't even think to call, and you're trying to react. So if you witness it, please call and tell us what you're seeing, and let us get over there to help somebody that maybe doesn't have a phone, maybe they couldn't call at that moment. So to prevent anything, a fatality or anything tragically happening to somebody.
Yeah, and so that's why I was going to say, like on this, that, a lot of times when I read the news articles, they have, if you have any pertinent information, please contact NHP or something. Maybe you got something on one of these things, and you know what I mean?
People with Teslas send us videos all the time because Teslas have those cameras around the whole vehicle. That is one thing that's awesome about those vehicles, is because they have the running camera. And then everybody that has also just dash cam, they'll send us stuff, and it could have been a crash from last week. And I'm like, oh my gosh, let me send this to the trooper that investigated the crash. It could change the whole investigation because now you have this video footage. So we're very appreciative when people send that stuff to us.
Yeah. I'd like to also add, too, when it comes to firearms, as police officers, I'm less worried about the person that has the legal firearm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Especially somebody who's got a permit to concealed carry, because I know they've been through a background investigation, and they're a legal gun owner, and you hope they're a responsible gun owner. The ones I'm concerned about are the people who have illegal firearms, people who have felony records, dangerous, violent histories, and they have an illegal firearm. Those are the people I'm concerned about.
Because
Agreed.
you walk up there and you have no idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then they've already shown a history of their actions showing that they may have less of respect for human life.
Yeah, I never even took into
You have
account that
people
there are
who,
the illegal firearms.
when you have a violent, dangerous background,
Right.
you're a predator. You have made a history of victimizing people. Somebody like that who has a weapon that can be used to cause death and significant injury, they're a significant threat.
And driving and a normal person that's not a trooper, right, or a police officer, right, that just driving down the road would have no idea, right? Like, you know what I mean? And so if there's any road rage, call Star NHP, get away, do whatever you know what I mean? Like you need to do.
Yep.
How about this one? Fatal crash. Again, we're not asking for any pertinent information, right? But what we do want to take into account, we've talked on Trooper Talk a lot about motorcycles,
Yes.
right? And so
This is the one I had to respond to before catching my flight early in the morning.
So people, now it's getting darker earlier. So talk to us just about, in general terms, motorcycles, and the highway and stuff of that nature.
When you're talking motorcycles, it's very important that even people in the cars use their mirrors, turn their head, double check, and really watch for motorcycles, because they have a much smaller physical presence than a motor vehicle. They're much smaller and harder to spot, and they can be harder to see. And what complicates things is when you have people on these motorcycles who are being very aggressive and driving in a reckless manner. You could look for them 1 second, and the very next second they're there.
Yeah.
And in this case, I have no problem saying somebody lost their life in this crash, once again, because of a combination of things like high speed and aggressive driving, or hazardous moving violations.
And so
And that was the case, unfortunately, on, I believe that was Tuesday night.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you can tell them the preliminary of it. I mean, we already released all that.
Yeah, I had to speak to the media that night, and what we had is we had a commercial vehicle, tractor trailer, was traveling westbound on Blue Diamond, attempting to make a left turn. At the same time, going eastbound, you had a motorcycle traveling at a very high rate of speed, and it struck the tractor trailer near the rear axles, broadside, and it was a very somber scene and a tragic scene.
Yeah, and again, that's the human side, right? Like now you have to go home and you have to think that you saw whatever you saw, and we've talked about the tractor trailers, right? That we got to be careful for them and stuff like that. People just I know that the motorcycles they go in between the lanes, but I mean
When you have somebody driving aggressively and
you
making
know,
those
but-
maneuvers, it's dangerous.
Very
It's
dangerous.
dangerous for everybody.
yeah.
Worth it. Fatal consequences.
So we want people just to take it easy. You know
Yes.
what I mean? People want you to be there for dinner tomorrow night or
Yes.
tonight
Yeah,
or whatever.
'cause-
Yeah. Splitting lanes isn't worth your life.
No.
How about this guy? The thing that I wanted to talk about on this is the fact that, tractor trailers are just as important as a regular car.
Yeah.
And so they just have a harder driving because they have that maneuverability that we talked about.
Yes.
And
What you're
so
seeing
we-
here is a textbook example of what a
Jackknife.
jackknife looks like.
And so, this closes the highway,
Yes.
Yep.
right? And so then you have the people that are, open the highway, but you have to do your investigation.
Yes, we have to do our investigation, but it's not lost on us either that a crash like this, when you have these kind of closures for extended periods of time, it has a direct effect on commerce. It costs a lot of money to have a highway shut down in a major city.
That ripple effect is.
And we know that, we've talked about before, you're trying to do everything you can. And
People late for work. You
people
have
late
other
for
tractor
work.
trailers with goods, possibly goods that need
We're
to be
already
somewhere
not
quickly
getting
before.
Christmas,
I mean,
Travis.
you're talking like
right?
you're talking produce, maybe refrigerated goods.
Right.
Yeah. I tell you what.
It could be problematic and cost people a lot of money.
No,
You want to see
100%.
some people get upset. An Amazon truck overturns or something. Now that we get a lot of nasty messages on that one.
That's very funny. All right. The Drive program. All right.
We have here is a couple of troopers that developed this, what is called Drive, and what it amounts to is it's traffic school for juvenile drivers. It's for young drivers who just got their license and then they're involved in a crash or they get a citation. It's court mandated that they attend this Drive or traffic school is what it is. And actually, Trooper Wellman and myself are both instructors for Drive.
And you donate your time to this?
We do. You'll usually have whether it's a state trooper or a Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department traffic officer, somebody will be there because we'll have to remove people because we see it all the time where somebody will actually show up to this impaired.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, it's pretty disrespectful.
Oh, there she is.
Now, this state trooper we've talked about before with the tattoos, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, no, that's actually Trooper Brosnan. This is Trooper DeGuy. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes.
DeGuy?
Yeah, she was actually a public information officer. She had Ashley and I's job up in Reno. But
Yeah.
she's recently left, and now she's
She was one of our partners.
patrolling in the area of Lake Tahoe.
Tahoe.
Lake
She left
Tahoe.
us to go patrol Tahoe.
There you go. Plan a sober ride or catch one with us.
Yes.
So, we don't want people catching a ride with you because
No.
that means that they were impaired.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
we don't want to take any rides.
No.
Give us
Our-
your spiel about what we do in Las Vegas on how they can take the Uber and everything. Tell us.
I mean, the options are endless. We have shuttle buses, we have taxis, we have Uber, we have Lyft, we have your friends and family.
Yeah.
I mean, it is there is no excuse to ever drive impaired, especially in Las Vegas. No excuse. And we have this ad. This is the new ad with Office of Traffic Safety, and it's everywhere. We have it on Monday Night Football. We have it on billboards. and look, this is Las Vegas, and this was made in Reno, and it's everywhere in Nevada right now because we want it out there. We want people to know we've had too many fatalities this year, and it is our mission to stop that, to get these impaired drivers off the road. It's always been our mission, but we're really trying to put it out there because obviously people aren't getting it. They're still driving impaired.
I think our statistics, I mean, they're really up, and we're in October.
Yes.
Right? Like, is now I don't want to say the deadliest, but like this last quarter, is that the most, I don't know the word.
We do have a real problem as you get in the holiday season, but we also have a real problem in the summer. We call it the 100 Deadly Days of Summer.
Okay, so
but but
now
you're right.
coming
As
in,
you get into the holidays, that's when
Okay.
you're talking whether it's Halloween or Christmas, you're going to have people going out and having holiday parties, business, work
Thanksgiving.
parties.
Oh, right, we
And
talked
you
about
always
that,
have
the work
somebody that
parties, right.
overdoes it and it makes a poor decision that they don't want to leave their car, so they're going to try to get themselves in their car home, and they end up catching an Uber ride with us. And we don't have a very high rating. I think we're still hovering somewhere around 2 stars.
Right, and let's face it, when somebody probably gets pulled over and they are intoxicated, they're probably not the most friendly person in the world. I mean, at least if you're straight and you're sober, you might not be the nicest person sometimes, but at least you have sane, you know what I mean?
My
Yeah.
experience,
Sound
they've
like-
ran the gamut. They're either really happy and joyful, or they're really upset, or they're a combination of the whole gamut while you're on your ride. I've had people start out very upset, then they get very apologetic, then they get sad, then they kind of get happy, and then
call
they're
it-
mad again.
I call it the roller coaster. Like they're emotional, and then they're angry, and then
And when we have impaired drivers, then we also have the wrong way driving because they
Yeah.
don't know which way they're going on the highway, and then we lead to the fact of the wrong way driving, and things like that, right?
yes.
And so, tremendous time. We shared a lot this week. We know that a lot was emotional. And so, on behalf of everybody who watches, they love you, and so they really support you. And so I think it's very important to know that what we do here on Trooper Talk is that we want you to know how important you are. And so not a lot of times people, do that, but, they can't give you a hug and, do all this type of stuff because, it's not like that. But we want we want people to know that you're approachable and that, you do have emotions and that, I think we saw that as well. Like I said, I keep coming back to that car show when you weren't in uniform and just people were just coming up and hanging out.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a very special time. So thanks again.
Thank you, Neil.
Yeah. We look forward to the next edition of Trooper Talk. And so we want everyone to be safe. No road rage and just slow down.
Yeah.
All right. See you later. Okay.